Spectacular, isn't it? Our California coastline may be the quintessential California. And like so many of our other natural treasures, our redwoods, our wetlands, our deserts, essential to preserve and protect for future generations. But right at my feet is the building block of a natural system many authorities consider to be the most threatened of all our ecosystems: California native grasslands. Native grasses form the foundation plant species for a multitude of ecological and biotic communities. Desert, riparian, oak savanna, alpine, coastal terrace, alkali, and inland valley, to name a few. The California Native Grass Association is committed to the protection and restoration of our native grasses and grassland ecosystems.
There are upwards of 300 species of native grasses occupying a wide range of habitats in California. Beside me in the seed production field are two of the different types. This is California onion grass, very common grass of our oak woodlands, and this is one-sided bluegrass, also found in the oak woodlands. Some of the differences are not only size, but also in roots. The one-sided bluegrass has very shallow roots. Onion grass, on the other hand, has a very deep root system, sometimes going 4 to 5 feet deep.
Native grasses have deep, penetrating, fibrous root systems. Roots, when they die, leave root channels, and that helps with infiltration of water, which will allow them to stay greener longer. They also green up quicker because of the rhizomes. If you can see this green new shoot right here, they definitely are using soil water way down deep in the soil profile, which increases the forage value for wildlife as well as livestock. It helps with erosion control because the root masses are down deeper, so water doesn't come flushing by, which would bring sediment or pollution down to the waterways.
In a healthy ecosystem, native grasses integrate with the other plentiful plant species, trees and shrubs and flowers. But in our landscape, they're nearly gone, outcompeted by invaders, weeds from the Mediterranean region. The delightful green hillsides that appear in spring are almost always dominated by non-native grasses. Although pretty at this time of year, they dramatically change the native ecology.
If you walk through a field of these exotic annual grasses, you notice very few things going on compared to walking through a field of the native perennial grasses. There in the native perennials you see birds you only see in the native grasses. In the native grasses you see hundreds of spiders, a very dramatic difference in the number of spiders. And that means that these spiders are finding other insects to feed on. So that there's this very complex biodiversity in the native perennial bunch grasses, and very little of that going on in this thatch of pretty much dead annual grasses, the exotics. The bare ground that used to occur in California was rapidly covered by these annual exotics. Many of these perennial grasses we have here are the big ones that have survived from before the European arrival. So it's pretty amazing to look at a grass and think that that clump there has been there for hundreds of years, maybe 1,000 years.
When people think of grass, they may think of a lawn, right? Or maybe a playing field or a golfing green. But this is what California more than likely looked like before its land was tilled and planted and invaded. Grass that mounds with clumps that are spaced to enhance their survival. In a word, bunch grass. Once you know what you're looking for, you find remnants of it everywhere. We're in cattle country, but this is different. The cows here are part of the Nature Conservancy's Dye Creek Preserve. But make no mistake about it, while this is a working ranch, it is also a living laboratory.
Grasslands provide the fundamental matrix that connects a mosaic of communities. The oak woodland, the streamside forest, vernal pools and other kinds of wetlands. They're incredibly rich biologically. They're the connective tissue, so to speak, between these different communities. You can see from the field behind us how many different wildflowers they support. In California, we only have 2% left of the original grasslands. Invasive species present a lot of challenges. They compete with the native plants like you see in this field that we're managing for. They also reduce the forage quality, so they're a common enemy for ranchers and conservationists alike.
The main problem that we have here is medusa head. Cattle eat the good grasses and leave primarily medusa. If medusa was eliminated, it would help people's carrying capacities and especially the forage quality. I think the goals of TNC are very favorable to cattle people. They see grazing as a beneficial tool. And I think we learn more all the time about the compatibility of grazing. If it's a benefit to wildlife, it's more than likely a benefit to the grazing operation as well.